Tonight we have with us, okay, they're not talking, but tonight we have with us Travis, Mr. B, and Vance. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey,
So sorry. I honestly did not realize you had started the show. Like I lagged out right when I guess said you were starting. But what's going on, everybody?
how
Oh,
you doing, guys? How you
Doing
doing?
good, man. Doing good. I guess Vance hasn't quite made it yet, correct?
No,
it
I'm
shows
here.
him here.
Nope, he's
Oh, are
here.
you here? Okay, good deal. Good deal.
The V Man
Can you
is
guys,
here.
can
Nice.
you guys hear me?
Yes, I can totally hear you, man. I think it was my connection. Don't worry about it. Like I
Okay,
say,
okay.
it did
Oh,
fine the 30 minutes we were waiting before the show started, and then as soon as the show started, of course, it would choose to mess up then. But
right
an-
on.
anyway, topic of the night. Who wants to get us started?
I believe we're talking about Gotham. I'm sorry, I
Goth.
didn't mean jelly beans. Happy
It's fine.
Easter, by the way.
Oh yeah, happy Easter to everybody. Yeah, I think what everybody's talking about tonight is comparing Gotham of of the old. Well, don't want to say old days, but Gotham of the old series compared to Gotham nowadays. Uh, and of course I know it's somebody. It's probably going to be me, but going to transition it over to a. I'm going to wind up comparing Gotham to Metropolis or even Smallville, but
I mean,
but
I
but
mean,
anyway,
you know my disdain for Superman, and
right.
so it might be me. You never know. You
But
never know. It's not like I mean, yeah, no, it's a disdain. I just don't like Superman at all.
all right, I think the first thing that I would say about it is definitely a difference is how dark the setting is between
Yeah,
Gotham of nowadays and Gotham of, let's say, the 60s. Uh, and of course, we can talk about anything here. We can go from the TV shows to the comics to whatever. But I think
right.
Gotham has definitely gone more dark with the time, and I think that's just a reflection of the times. To be honest, I think as things get worse and worse, because let's face it, the world's not the same as what it was in the '60s. So, it didn't take nowhere near as bad of a as bad of a crime, to shock and awe as what it does nowadays. So I think
Right.
that I would say that's the reason why it's getting darker. What do you guys think?
Honestly,
Honestly, go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead, brother.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Like it's a great show, but the problem that I think the problem that this show has is the fact that it'll have one or two really good ideas, it'll drag it along at like a snail's pace, and then it'll have a great cliffhanger at the end. So like sometimes it's kind of boring, although it has a lot of interesting things to it. And it is dark, but I don't know, like I don't know, like it's kind of hit or miss on some of those episodes, you know.
I got you. Well, one thing I think I screwed up is I was comparing Gotham of like the Adam West days to Gotham of, let's say, the Dark Knight days. That's what I was comparing. But you're talking about the actual television show, the new one that's on Gotham, the one that's telling the
It's
story
on
of
Fox.
yeah, yeah,
Jim
yeah,
Gordon.
yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Gordon, and basically a prequel to all the villains that wind up being villains.
Definitely, definitely. I love that show. I think they're doing a great job
Um,
with it. I think we talked about on one show before that I was a little bit
yeah,
disappointed with what they were doing with the Penguin. But
yeah.
yeah, at first I didn't like it because I just didn't like the actor who they got to do it. But now I'm totally behind him. He's doing a great job with it.
Robert Lord Taylor is he's amazing as Penguin. I like him as a as an actor and as a person because like you see his personality as he's been going off and interviewing people. He's
Right.
still he's got that charming type of appeal, and he doesn't seem like that class A, "Hey, man, get away from me" type person. He seems like a real approachable type of guy.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
when you got Jim Gordon, and you got Jada Pinkett as uh, Fish Mooney, and the characters that you have that most people don't know about these people. That's one,
Hmm.
and you're bringing out a new. You're trying to bring in a new subtext to Gotham as a whole. It's not just Batman. Like Batman is Batman. Yes, it's Batman. Like when Batman gets there, it's Batman. But Gotham is a city before, and it'll be a city after Batman is gone. Like Gotham is Gotham. Now I can't say that about Metropolis. See, I told you he was going to do this. But I mean, honestly, like how much crime was there before Superman showed up? You
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah,
like random
exactly,
supervillain. Like you didn't
exactly.
have like these mob stories. Like Gotham is that old school mob story. Like Carl Falcone. You got the family sitting down, and he just like it's done. Like that was the original gangster setting for Gotham. It's like mobsters, drug dealers, every single last type of crime happened in Gotham. You
Right.
don't hear nothing about that in Metropolis.
No, no, you don't. You don't.
Like the Daily Bugle, like I mean, not the Daily Bugle. What was it? The Daily
The
Planet.
planet.
The
Yeah.
Planet. Yes.
Well, one thing's for sure. Would Earth, in your opinion, would Earth have ever had a problem with Zod had Superman never showed up?
I mean,
No.
if honestly, if Superman wind up like veering into the sun or something,
Right.
I mean, he could have landed on Mars. He still would have had superpowers.
Yeah, true.
Well, like that's the
So
thing, like with Zod though, like especially like in the movie Man of Steel, like the only reason he came to Earth was because they detected the signal and whatnot.
Yeah,
So it's like in that regard, Kal-El created his own problem per se.
yeah,
That's not saying Zod would never ever come to Earth. Like maybe in the distant future he comes just because he's trying to conquer places. But in
right.
that regard, yeah, Superman did. He kind of created his own downfall on that.
definitely. I kind of feel like Superman fans will hate on me for this, but in the Man of Steel, like the one problem I have with that movie is I always think if he was really worried about the people, why didn't you just take your ass and fly to Mars and just what, just chill out there, let them follow you there. We're not worried
Like
about you
yeah,
destroying anything on Mars. Y'all have your battle there. Whoever wins wins. I hope he does, but
I
they
mean,
did they didn't. That whole setting did not have to be on Earth.
Right.
it's fun. I find it really funny how because now there's all types of comparisons. They got Superman, but my favorite one so far is who's stronger, Superman or Goku?
Hmm.
And Goku is I feel like Goku says what he feels. He's automatically like, yeah, let Vegeta live because I want to fight him again. Krillin could have killed him. Krillin could have killed Vegeta, and you know how messed up the whole DBZ universe would be if Krillin killed Vegeta.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's like what really? Krillin, 6 dot bald dude kills Vegeta. How? Oh, with the sword. Okay, that's no. But he gets to fight Vegeta again. Whereas, and Vegeta, when he landed, he's like, hey, we're going to take this somewhere else. We're going to take this to the outskirts of the whole area of a town before they, start blowing stuff up and already citizens have already been hurt and everything. But Superman doesn't do that. He fights
No.
right there in
Yeah, that's it.
Metropolis. He doesn't take anything anywhere. He's like, he has damage count. If they actually find out that Clark Kent is Superman, they're gonna give him a bill. It's like, hey man,
No
I know you're
kidding.
not Bruce Wayne, but Bruce Wayne doesn't cause a building to collapse either. So
Well,
here you
it
go.
really doesn't matter because I guess if he does too much damage, he can just like fly in the opposite way around the Earth really fast and just reverse time. So yeah,
See,
Can
that's
you
the thing.
imagine how many times I got done?
no kidding, no kidding. Like I wish they'd have never done that, and I forget which movie it was he did that.
It was
But
Superman 2, I think.
I wish they'd have never done that because that just ruined Superman entirely. Because whenever you give a superhero the power like that to just turn back time at any time he wants, what's the point? You know?
Well,
It's,
the thing I found that was kind of messed up about the old Superman movies not the fact that he went around the earth, but the fact that every time he kissed Lois, he'd make her forget memories, and I just kind of thought, the guy who's up that moral standard, like, dude, with as much as you mess with her mind, you're gonna give her brain cancer or something. Like,
no kidding, no kidding, man. No kidding. Poor Lois. Poor Lois.
But I think,
she went, the actor that portrayed Lois Lane in the original Superman movies, she is about freaking nuts. Like
I
in
actually
real
met
life.
her last year. I actually met her last year.
You did? No kidding.
Yeah,
man.
I met her at the Kansas City Comic Con. I went there. I met Will Wheaton, and I met her. I met one of the Doctor Who's, and she was kind of like, I had my glasses
out of it.
with me.
I think she has to be on medication. Go ahead, man. What were you saying?
I had my glasses with me, and she was like, "Wow, your glasses are just like Chris's. You look just like him." I'm like, "Dude, I'm bald and fat. I look nothing like."
Yeah, I forget what she did, but she was like in somebody's like backyard, like camped out and like wouldn't move, like half naked and everything else. But this has been years ago, man, But yeah, it was something like that. I forget.
The only thing better would be if she was like smearing peanut butter all over herself.
No kidding.
Just, what the hell's wrong with you?
Nutella.
Oh my gosh! We can't have a Nutella conversation.
No kidding.
But yeah, I think what was the Gotham City show, the only character that I think doesn't fit is, I think, the Fish Mooney character. I think she would fit like really good in the old 1960s show, because every time she gets on screen, like, she's over the top and she's just kind of out there, with her portrayal. Everyone else is kind of serious, and she's the only one where I watch the screen and I'm like, man, I dial it back a little bit. Like, she's having fun with the role, but I don't know. I don't think she really fits in with that world,
Right.
Well, I'm glad they have Fish Mooney in there. I'm really glad they have Fish Mooney in there, because they can dive into the darker underworld that Gotham hasn't seen. Like, Batman, not even Batman, has faced like some of these criminal underlords. Like, some of the real gangsters of Gotham. That should be the title of the show. That's how I feel about it. But
Gangsters of Gotham.
Gangsters of Gotham. Like Gangs in New York.
Yeah.
Like, Black Mask. They already introduced, Falcone. Like, Batman as Bruce Wayne runs into Falcone. When they're in a business meeting, and everything is good. Like, Bruce Wayne doesn't suspect Falcone of being any type of criminal mind underlord, crime lord type of personality. He doesn't, because when Falcone is in the business meeting, he's about business. His books look 100% legit. He has the finance to back up all his endeavors. Even with his criminal activities, they're always 100% legit, and throughout his all businesses, which is why, like, Fish Mooney and her relationship to Falcone and her relationship to Black Mask, and getting deeper and deeper, and I don't know exactly where they're going with it, but if they even attempt to go into the Ra's al Ghul business side of that, I'm gonna be a little mad. Me personally, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be a little mad, because Raj has been done. Raj has been done. Like, y'all can hit me with some Vandal Savage. If y'all hit me some Vandal Savage, I'll be really happy.
Right.
I will applaud this show. Stand up, standing ovation. It needs to be a movie, and that's how you do the spinoff to the Batman Superman movie. That's how you do it, right there.
Let me ask you a question. When I'm watching the TV show, because I watch it every week with my wife, and like, I kind of get the feeling from the story, like, it doesn't seem to have like a clear direction. Like, if you watch The Flash, it's definitely going in a certain direction.
Right.
With Gotham, I'm sitting there, and even though I may like an individual episode, or I may like certain aspects of it, it's hard to follow where they're going. Like, the best scene, I think, with Fish Mooney was where she scooped her eye out and stomped on it. Like, that was, my jaw dropped on that, because that was just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree with that.
I think every,
I totally agree with that.
but I think everything outside of that, it's just really hard to follow. Like, where are they going? You know, and when it's kind of like that episode of oh shoot, because I'm doing reviews on Gotham, Arrow, and Flash, on my own YouTube channel. And when I was going over, I think it was the third or fourth episode this season of Arrow, like Nissa comes back looking for Sarah, and then Oliver tells her he doesn't know what's going on. Like it was all over the place because it's like it was more like he said, she said, like what. So by the time you get to the end of the episode, you really it's that close. And I feel like sometimes that's the problem with Gotham. Do any of you guys feel that way, or is it just me in that regard?
No, I can see where you're coming from with it. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. To to be completely honest, I really hadn't thought of it like that, man. But yeah. When you explain it like that, that totally makes sense. I can see what you're getting at.
Like
I
I love.
mean,
Oh, go ahead.
like when it comes down to it, I think they have to do it like that because there's a lot of things that they're trying to work in and try to build with. They've already introduced the League of Assassins. You know, they've introduced. Well, they haven't introduced the League of Assassins. They've introduced assassins.
Right.
And how did they get those assassins? They went through Wayne Corporation. Wayne Corporation has those assassins. They have ties to the League of Assassins, which, once again, like Ra's al Ghul. If Ra's al Ghul shows up, I'm going to be upset. But
Yeah.
they also, you know, they're trying to tie in everybody's story, like the Riddler. They're trying to tie in Catwoman. They're trying to tie in. Seldomly, they do the whole little Catwoman with her friend Ivy. You know that's Poison Ivy. She was like, you know that's Poison Ivy. But she has a lot of growing up to do before she even becomes the, you know, femme fatale that she is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And all this has to take place within a certain amount of time before, because if it doesn't happen in a certain amount of time, nerds are going to revolt. They're going to sit up here and boycott this show because it's not going to be accurate anymore.
Right.
Well, but see, here's the thing though. Like it's throwing like a lot. I feel like it's a show that's throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. Because it's like we have Edward Nygma, and outside of 2 or 3 really good scenes, like they really haven't given him much to do. So we've had this character who, you know, we're supposed to have seen, you know, going down some type of story arc, and we really haven't seen anything even, you know, close to a story arc. When you watch all the stuff with, you know, Edward Nygma, you could probably sum it up in like one episode, you know. So it's like, I kind of feel like the story's being stretched. You know, what could be told in like 3 or 4 episodes is kind of being stretched over the course of like 18, you know. And
Right.
I think like with Flash, like Flash is a show that is doing it right, you know, because they're giving us little nuggets here and there to where, you know, we're eager to see more. And I think with Gotham, like they're doing a couple of nuggets, but it's nothing that's as enticing as what they're doing on Flash, you know. And I think with a story like Gotham that has so many characters, you know, not even the big characters, but you know, even the small little minute characters. Like, there's enough there where if they were to do it over, like, 3 seasons or so, you know, and take their time telling that story, like, I think you would have diehard fans that would stick it out, and, you know, because it would be worth the wait, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I think, because the thing with Flash versus Gotham is Flash has a moral support backing of Arrow's success on the CW.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
They've got it built into a niche. CW has done enough superhero things to be like, all right, we know what we're doing. And the Flash is that golden child right there, because honestly, with Arrow already showing up in the Flash, and you have Arrow's universe about to collide with the Flash's universe later this season, you know, the start of next season, and it's about to get really intense. And oh my God, that episode with the Trickster. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But you're
Yeah.
gonna be in your feels. You will be in your feels the whole time if you knew who, you know, instead of, you know, being the Jedi that he is. You'll be in your feels when you watch this show, because all you're gonna think about is, that's the Joker. That is the
Yeah.
Joker. Like, I don't know if you can do a live action Joker, but He still has the voice. He still has it. It's
Do-
there.
Does anybody know who does the writing for Arrow and the Flash?
I don't. No, I don't.
I mean, I
Because they,
could
they
look it
actually
up.
did a really good job as far as combining both universes. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't waste any time on that. They wasted
No.
no time. I believe it was an episode of The Flash where he went to oh God, why can't I think of the city that he lives in? Uh,
Central City.
Central
yes,
City.
yes, where he went to Central City, and that wasn't. Oh God, that was in the second episode or so. May have even been the first episode, but it was just when he
Nah.
was. It
Yeah.
wasn't long
Well, it
because
wasn't
he
the
went in there
first
to get
one.
advice about what to do with his with
Yeah.
his newfound powers and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it wasn't long. It was first, second, or third. But yeah, that really surprised me that they just threw those two worlds together so quickly. But it worked. I mean, it definitely worked. Or
Well,
it's
and
worked
that,
so far.
and that's the thing, with Flash and Arrow, you have Ray Palmer, you have Ronnie Raymond, you have all these other characters, that have been introduced or whatnot, and they're doing that spinoff show, and that's the thing that I
Yeah.
think, that's exciting to watch DC on television because, they do have a plan. It seems, just like Marvel did with their movie plan. And
Uh-huh.
all we have to really do is hope that DC's movie plan kind of follows the same line of you know you know going the route that they're going, and just hoping that they give us some faith, 'cause
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's your guys' take on the movie universe so far?
Want to go first, Travis?
Okay. I seriously, I've said this before. I seriously have my doubts about the Superman Batman thing. I have my doubts about this Justice League thing. DC, I don't want to say DC stay in your lane. I really don't want to because yes, we need these. DC needs to have its movies. They need to have something in the box office to, for this generation of kids growing up, or not for generation of kids, just for its fans in general. But the way that they're going about it is at the wrong speed, at the wrong tone. Like Marvel sat back for years and they went to the drawing board for years upon years before they even thought about, hey, we're going to release Iron Man. They didn't rush Iron Man. They didn't push Iron Man out there like, all right, sink or swim. No, they're like, this movie is going to be the actual nucleus. It's going to be the nucleus. It's going to be the life child of this expansive universe that we have. They failed with the Hulk twice. They put out Iron Man. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, no! Wait, hold up! You got Robert Downey Jr. You had Terrence Howard. You got okay. We got a decent lineup right now." And then they put it out there like, "All right, this is it," and they didn't worry about it. DC has to worry. If they put out a Batman, you don't have a Batman movie coming out. You have a Superman movie coming out. Superman versus Batman. That's what you have. You don't have a Batman movie. It's prequeling to. You don't have that. You just have a next Superman movie that's either going to sink or swim. It's either going to sink or swim your entire longevity of movies that you plan on coming out with.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's smart. Like, y'all seem like y'all don't have the time, but y'all do have the time. Marvel has a 10-year plan. Where's your 10-year plan? Where's your somatics? Where are you showing us the blueprints at? You're not showing us anything. All you're showing us is little. It's just irritating. It's irritating me because I'm just like. Go ahead.
From what I gather, their plan is to do Batman v Superman,
Right.
and then have Justice League Part 1, and then they're going to sprinkle in some independent movies, which would be kind of like prequels or stuff that leads up to that, and then do Justice League Part 2, which would be kind of an interesting way to do it, but that's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping that everybody, is on board for that stuff. And, although there are parts of their plan I really enjoy and I think could really work. It's a lot to ride, man. You know.
Like
Y-
I like the idea of Lex Luthor. I love Lex. Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor. I saw him the makeup, everything. I was like, all right, that looks good.
He looks
That
like
looks
Michael Rosenbaum.
great.
He looks like Michael
You
Rosenbaum.
know, I wasn't mad about that. Yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
I think one thing, and okay, this is where I haven't, where I've never really had a problem with any movie adaptation of anything, because I go into it knowing that I'm watching a movie adaptation. Like, they're just making it to fill the seats and to entertain people. And for the most part, most adaptations and movies I've seen, I've been entertained. I've gone away from there thinking, wow, they really wouldn't have done that in the original series, or they wouldn't have done that in the comic. But I was always entertained. It's just somebody else's take on it, and I can take the movies and whatnot with a grain of salt. I definitely can.
Were you entertained with Batman versus Robin? Batman and Robin?
I said most. I said most. All right. But yeah, they handle stuff real well. You touched on Terrence Howard a while ago in the original Iron Man. I love Terrence Howard as I wanted to see him suit up because he never suited up in as War Machine in the first movie.
No, he didn't.
I wanted to see him suit up in the second. Evidently, they couldn't work things out. Don Cheadle comes in and replaces him. Don Cheadle's a fine actor, but I was a little disappointed. Now, I love the way that they handled that, because if you watch Iron Man 2, at the part where Rhodey comes in to Tony Stark's hearing that he's having or whatnot, he walks in there, and Tony Stark turns around and he's like, Rhodey. And they do it so subtly. It's Don Cheadle, and his first line of the movie is, yeah, I'm here. It's me. Get over it.
Right.
I mean, that was just an Easter egg for all the folks that wanted Terrence Howard back, and
Yeah.
that played in so well. I love that. From that moment on, like, did John? Oh God, I always screw up his last name. Fairview. How do you say his last name?
John Favreau.
Yes,
John
Favreau. Yes.
Yeah,
Did he direct
yeah.
Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He
didn't
didn't
direct-
direct 3 though, did he?
No, he
No.
didn't.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
acted
yeah.
in 3.
Yes,
Like,
he did.
he acted in 3, but he
Yeah.
didn't direct
Yeah,
the 3.
I don't know if that was his call or not to put that line in there, but oh my God, I love that so much. It just, I don't know, it just helped get over the thought of losing Terrence Howard.
Right.
I'd have loved to see Terrence Howard stay though. Don Cheadle, Terrence Howard, I could see him playing the role of an all-out badass.
Well, and that's
I can't see Don Cheadle doing that. I guess I don't know. I'll always think of
I don't know.
Don Cheadle as the fake British accent guy hacking all the systems in Oceans.
Like the thing about Terrence Howard, like, like I went into the Iron Man universe. I really didn't know much about Marvel, or all I knew is I like Batman. That's my guy, and I got to be true. But with no, very seldom them releasing any good movies from DC. Like you watch Iron Man, so you get into that. And I really saw Terrence Howard as that character, and I don't think he brought a certain, like you said, badassness to the role.
Mhm.
I don't, Don, although he does a great job, he's not the same. Even suited up, I don't take him as serious as I would Terrence.
No, I don't either. I really don't. I wish I could, but I
Yeah.
just
I mean, I'm an Iron Man fan. Like, before Iron Man even came out, I was an Iron Man fan. So I couldn't care less about War Machine. Like, I really couldn't. Even though Terrence Howard, the situation that presented itself in the studio was like, hey, we need to do a War Machine. We need to have War Machine in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need that because Rhodey is Iron Man's best friend. That's his pal. That's the person that stopped him from his so many long lines of addictions, from women to drugs to alcoholism. If you read the comics and everything like that, yes, alcoholism is
Well,
But-
they almost touched on that in the second Iron Man. I think it was the second.
Yeah,
But
like,
yeah. They didn't
trying
really go in
to-
depth with it, but they did give a kind of a nod to the folks who
Yeah.
read the comics with Tony's whole thing of literally getting blasted and relieving
In the
himself
suit
in his
and
own
everything,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, it was like just like that. Okay, But when it comes down to like Terrence Howard versus Don Cheadle, Don Cheadle I've watched in his show House of Lies,
Hmm.
and in his show House of Lies, he's not this, he's not a punk at all. He can actually cerebrally, like, mentally attack somebody and break them down to like just bare minimums. And I
Hmm.
don't know if that's the writing of the actual show, but he brings something to that character that I can't really see anybody else playing. Terrence Howard, you had him in multiple movies. You have Terrence Howard in multiple movies where he's played this gangster, he's played this badass character. And yes, you'd be like, man, I would love to see Terrence Howard suit up as a war machine. At the end of the day, I don't know if he could take. Can you really see Terrence Howard's voice coming through the War Machine and not thinking like, man, this might be Hustle and Flow?
I wish he would. I wish he would. I wish he would have played War Machine, and like how Tony Stark plays music when he's going into battle. Like Terrence
Right.
Howard, he needed to do the same thing, man. But it needed to be the song from Hustle and Flow. And when he was flying in, he needed to be like, "I got this beat in my head, man." That would have been awesome.
I mean, that song did win an Oscar, so
That song was great, man.
that song won an
Yeah.
Oscar.
I got this beat in my head, man. I love that movie, man. Yeah, I love that song too, to be honest.
Like, and when it comes down to it, I think DC is really just. I really think they're trying to compete with Marvel now, and I've always gave DC its props, and its animation. Its animation is brilliant. I love their stuff until I just recently saw the new stuff,
What do you
and I'm thoroughly disappointed.
What do you mean by trying to
Thoroughly.
compete with them now? I kind of think they've always been competing in one way or another.
Marvel's kind of had the upper hand. As soon as the movie thing got done, and they released Iron Man, and you had the Batmans coming out, and you had this X-Men's, and then you had Superman coming out, and then you had Sony doing their thing, and you had Fox doing their thing. When it comes down to Warner Brothers throwing in their hat with that, they kind of died off. It was like, all right, we're about to have this and this and this, and then next thing you know, like the studio itself started canning different movies to come out. There's supposed to be a Flash movie out like in 2004. They've been talking about it since 2004. That didn't happen. It was supposed to be a Wonder Woman movie out. That didn't happen yet. There's now they're talking about shows for they already got the Flash show, but will this Flash be in the Justice League? I don't see how. Will Arrow be in the movie? No, it can't be. You know why it can't be? Because Arrow, the show Arrow's already messed up. They've already messed up on one key detail. You can't take Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins with Christian Bale's character and take him and put him in the Ben Affleck universe.
No. I don't know.
The biggest problem I think
I kind of think they can, man, just because of the actor. I think he's got the chops to do it.
I mean, it's Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
It's Liam Neeson.
I mean, like, seriously, anytime Liam Neeson is involved in anything and folks argue a point about something and they're like, and I'm counterpointing, if somebody asks me why, I always just reply, because Liam Neeson. Because that's like all you need to reply with. That's it. That explains everything. Because Liam Neeson. It don't matter.
It's Liam Neeson.
If
Yeah.
DC was smart, if DC was smart, what they would do is, of course, Chris Nolan's films were, a different continuity. Okay, fine, scrap that. Move on. But what they have at their disposal is 2 successful TV shows.
Right.
At the time, they had 1 successful TV show. And everybody loves Arrow. Everyone that's watches the CW knows what Arrow is. They know it's been on for 2 years at the time, now 3, and then Flash. If they were smart, what they would have done is have all those lesser known people. Like right now, they've got just on the CW, the heroes you have. You have Firestorm, the Atom. well, laughably the Atom. You have Arrow, and you have Flash. You got 4 heroes. Not to mention they're bringing on a couple more. Not to mention
You
you have
got Black Canary too. Black
yeah,
Canary's on
Black
there too.
Fury. You got Arsenal. You know, you've got
Arsenal.
a wide variety of heroes there. If you were to tie that into the movie universe, it would automatically give yourself credibility. And by them having the mentality of, oh no, our movie universes are a completely separate universe from our TV universe, so we're giving you the multiverse. In my opinion, that's just a cop out, and I don't like that's just that's
Right.
stupid to me. You know, and that's one thing. If Marvel had said the same thing, I could at least say, hey, they haven't let us down. But with DC doing that, you know, you kind of got to scratch your head and go, I don't know if I buy this or not. You know, and considering that they're so much up in the air with the future of their movies, you know, dude, you can't do any half-ass shit. You got to just go forward and yeah, in my opinion, give the fans what they want. You know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But DC is DC. I feel like it's stacking the books against them. They're like, hey, we're not going to give you what you want. But if you turn around and be like, all right, well, we're going to take the Flash, and we're going to take our Arrow, and we're going to put them in this Superman. We're going to put them in the Justice League movie. Okay. Y'all do that.
Hmm.
When it comes down to it, you have all the heroes that you would need in the Justice League movie. Instead of going back trying to find actors, but you also have to think about Marvel's almost done. Marvel's done in like 2020, and they're just confirmed that they're about to release Deadpool. Like, how do you compete with Deadpool?
You don't.
You don't.
How do you compete with Deadpool? And they're giving the fans what they want. They want a rated R, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
That shocked me more than the Spider-Man thing. Honestly, that shocked me more.
Like,
Rated R, it blew my mind.
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
right there. And then, you know what really irritated? What irritated me the most about, because I read the post, and it was like, the Deadpool movie would give a new stepping stone to the X-Men. I was like, forget the X-Men. You can't get that. You can't understand that universe anymore.
Right.
It's gonna die out. It's like, all right, we got Apocalypse coming up. That's it. That's it. It's done. It's over.
Uh,
I think with the Marvel universe, the fact that they're kind of the Marvel studios are talking about, you know, bringing in the Inhumans, and they're focusing more on that stuff. That mixed with they just canceled the Fantastic Four comic books. So it's like they're playing hardball really hard, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Inhumans, you know, they do everything they can to make that kind of take off, them slowly fade out the X-Men universe. You know, again, for anything that's not going to play ball with the, you know, Marvel Studios, the movie, you know, movie people, you're in bad shape. What I would do if I was Fox, I would be like, hey, let's go ahead and include a couple of characters in. Let's have a little bit of that Sony money that you're, you know, kind of working with them on, and you know, personally, if I was the studio exec, I wouldn't have anything against, you know, truckloads of money coming to my studio, because that's honestly what would happen, you know.
Yeah. But do you see the trailer for the new Fantastic Four?
I don't think I have.
Right.
To be honest.
I did, and I didn't care.
And yeah, that's how it is though, because Fantastic Four is not owned by it's not owned by Marvel Disney Studios or whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it, but it's owned by Sony. Like, just because you have the Marvel name to it doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Well, see, and the thing is, you know, one of the actors was kind of called on it, you know, and was like, hey, what's your reaction to fan backlash that this doesn't feel like a Fantastic Four movie? And I think it was the guy who played Johnny Storm, if my memory serves correctly. But he kind of got butthurt and was like, hey, the movie's going to be great. You just have to go watch it. And to me as a fan, I was like, are you kidding me? You know, I work hard for my money. I'm not going to waste my money on a piece of crap, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Sell me on the movie.
See,
Right.
here's the bad thing about how little of an impression those movies left on me. I, for the life of me, cannot even remember now. I've seen them both, of course, just because, I didn't go to the theater and watch them. That cause HBO, that's the only reason I've seen them. But the movie left such a little impression on me. For the life of me, I can't remember if The Silver Surfer was the first or second movie.
Wow.
I really
Wow.
can't. I'm thinking it. Instinct is telling me the second movie, but I
Yeah.
swear I'm not positive.
It is. It is the second one.
Is it? Yeah,
But yeah, it is.
I did not enjoy him whatsoever.
I
See, with
mean,
oh, go ahead,
I
brother.
enjoyed who I enjoyed who played Doctor Doom. The guy that they got to play Doctor Doom, he came off of Nip Tuck and then played Doctor Doom. I loved it. I was great because I watched Nip Tuck. I liked his character in Nip Tuck, and him to play Doctor Doom was just like it segued into it. Like, kind of funny, kind of shifty-eyed, little, And then when he zapped his board of director in the uh, hmm, parking garage. I loved it. I was like, yo, Doctor Doom. He could play Doctor Doom. He could reprise his role as Doctor Doom. I would not be mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
But
The problem that I had with the first two Fantastic Four movies was the fact that the character, development that happened in it didn't make sense between movies. I felt like we were missing a chapter because in
yeah,
the first one, Sue Storm is so focused on her career and everything. And like I kind of bought into that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, Jessica Alba doesn't seem like the type of scientist, but whatever. For story's sake, I'll overlook that. That's fine. But then in the second movie, what's she focused on? Oh, a family. I want a family. And I'm like, dude, the world's about to get destroyed, and you just want to get married. Are you stupid?
right.
So for me, it didn't even feel like the same character, and I didn't even buy the character to begin with. So, they scrapped that continuity, and then we watched the trailer for the new one, and this doesn't feel like anything that, feels like Fantastic Four. So you've given us nothing but movies that don't feel like what we're supposed to care about. So I sit
Right.
here, does it look like a bad movie? No, but it doesn't look like something I'm wanting to go out and be like, oh, I gotta go see Fantastic Four. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just I don't care if Batman v Superman sucks. I'm gonna go see it because I'm passionate about that. Good or bad, I'm gonna go. Fantastic Four, I'll red box.
I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see. All right. When you compare like that, Batman versus Superman, I'm gonna see it. But if that movie does not live up to a little bit of my expectations,
You're done.
I'm with in my opinion, and DC they have their marketing team, they have their researchers, they have all this, they have the internet at their disposal. Why didn't y'all just sit there and just make the Justice League movie and just peter off of that like you do with your animated films? Like the animation films, they come out with a Justice League movie, and then they go into the Batman, then they go into the Superman, then they go into Wonder Woman. They go into different areas of the Justice League, but it's still in that same universe. Like the New 52 that they just like the Justice League animated movies are great. They're like PG-13. They cuss.
Yeah.
There's vile language. They just came out like Batman side. They have Suicide Squad. Now you have Batman and Robin. The action in Batman and Robin is great. This movie doesn't come out until next week. Well, it comes out this week on Tuesday, but I've already seen it. I told you I was going to watch it, and I did watch it. So my opinion for that is, yeah, y'all dropped the ball. Y'all dropped the ball immensely. The action sequence was great, but the storyline fell through. Any real comic book fan is not going to pretty much enjoy that movie. But hey, let's see you go.
Yeah.
That's how.
Do any of you guys read comics?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I did. Up until about, I'm not even gonna lie, up until about 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
then I don't know what happened. Dude, I actually got out of my comic thing about the same time that I got out of gaming. In the last 5 years, I've gotten back into gaming big, but I don't know. I guess just 10 years ago, that put me at 22. I was old enough then to go out, and I was more worried about going out at clubs and chasing skirts around and stuff, man. So I just kind of fell out of it. But no, I'd really love to get back into it, but I just feel like I've missed so much in the last 10 years. Like, I don't know how
Well, right
easy
now
it
is the
would be to
perfect
get
time to
caught
get
up.
back into it.
You
I
think
was
so, man?
I was gonna
I
ask
mean,
you, is that the convergence thing? Is that like, do we want to jump on for convergence or wait till it's done? Or like, I've seen bits and pieces. I'm kind of lost. I haven't read in about 5 or 10 years.
yeah.
Uh, 5 years definitely I've stayed away, but 10 years like was kind of when I started getting out of it. 52 threw me off. I hated 52. I'm looking to get back in, but I don't know. There's so much out there. Guide me. Be my Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
Like,
Right.
all right. When it comes down to, all right, we're talking in DC aspect, right?
Yes,
We're
yes.
talking about Marvel aspect.
No,
Okay.
I've never read Marvel. I've always been just straight DC.
All right. Strictly DC, they just ended the New 52. So that's scrapped. That's gone. That universe is dead now.
Okay.
So now they're trying to come back with these different stories, different segues out of different people's lives and everything else like that. That's not tying into the New 52 anymore. This is a whole different side of DC that you haven't seen in a long time, honestly. The artwork is amazing in some of the new ones. But Superman, like the concept, I battle with this. I don't like Superman, but there's a chapter, and this is why I say it's a good time to get back into it. It's a great time to get back into comics, especially if you like DC. Alfred Pennyworth is there's a confrontation between Alfred Pennyworth and Superman. And you sit there and you be like, really? Are you serious? Superman and Alfred Pennyworth. Batman's butler. Yes. And Alfred beat Superman's ass. He had Superman leaking. And I really enjoyed it because Superman was being a punk. And Alfred put him in his place. I loved it. I enjoyed it. But it's not something that you like see every day, you know? And Batman with his whole responsibilities is not to Gotham anymore, it's to the whole world now. And you see that more. You see Batman trying to see the broader side of everything, not just within Gotham. Like Superman, he's dealing with some real issues in this new DC timeline. Just guys, like, I mean, I'm gonna keep poking fun at it because you got whooped by a butler. I don't care if you're the Man of Steel or not. You just don't do that. It's like getting whooped by your father, and you know you have the ability to be like, no, stop, Dad, don't hit me with that belt. You don't need to.
So is Convergence? Is it? Did they bring back the multiverse, or is it just a new timeline per se?
It's definitely a newer timeline. I want to go with newer timeline, but the thing about it is, it's not that many. I think they're going to be into. I think the next 6. They're going to be in the sixth. I think it's the 6th comic for Batman coming out this week, and it's not. It doesn't seem like a new timeline. It seems like it doesn't seem like a multiverse. It doesn't seem like a next, like, oh my gosh, they can wipe this out anytime and we're all going to be done. It seems like an actual genuine timeline that they want to keep. But with that being said, it could just be another multiverse. This is how this one is worked out, because they've already ended 52. If 52 wasn't, it was a multiverse, but it was supposed to be a timeline for their animation. And that's not how it worked out. It's now done. 52 is ended. Their movies, though, are still going on. They have to finish that. And it won't get finished until next year. like February 2016, which happens to be the time that Deadpool comes out. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw that side note out. Deadpool, February 2016.
Yeah, that's one I'm actually excited for. Like, totally not lying, man. I'm ready, and we talked about it before, and I had my reservations about Ryan Reynolds. I know you totally disagree, but I had my reservations about him playing Deadpool. But yeah, I am like totally excited for it. I'm
Go
ready
back and watch Blade 3. You'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all you gotta do.
I'm excited for it though, man. I'm ready for this movie. I need a good movie. I'm pumped for Age of Ultron. Obviously, that's about to come
May
out.
1st.
Yep.
May 1st.
Before you know it, it'll be here. And I would probably say, with stuff that's actually been announced officially, those are probably the two I'm most pumped for. But yeah, I was excited to hear you say the release date. You said it's getting a 2016 release date.
Yep.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome.
Next summer we have Batman v Superman.
Right.
We have Captain America: Civil War.
Yep.
We have Deadpool.
Yep.
Damn, that.
And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But then again,
you also have.
I'm not excited. I'm not that excited for Batman versus Superman. I
think
don't
you have
know.
Guardians.
Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Already?
I think so.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be mad
Or is
if
that-
it came out.
Wait. It's either. Man, I wish I had my phone with me because I know they had to make room for the Spider-Man movie to come in, and I know they didn't push Civil War back, and I don't think they pushed. I don't think they pushed Guardians back either. But it's between that timeline where you have Civil War, you have Spider-Man. This is like right behind that. It's right after that. But I think Guardians of the Galaxy slips itself in there in one of these years. It's not 2020. It's one of these 2016, 2017 years that you got coming out.
Right.
Okay, I've got it on my phone right here, brother. We got Deadpool coming February. We got Batman v Superman in March. We got Civil War coming in May, or Captain America: Civil War in May. We've got X-Men Apocalypse also in May.
Right.
We've got Suicide Squad in August. We've got Gambit in October. And then we've got Doctor Strange in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still shows Sinister 6 for November, but I'm willing to bet that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, that looks like that's what we've got coming. Everything except for the Sinister 6 sounds pretty on mark.
Yeah.
So Deadpool's actually getting a February release date, man?
Yes.
No kidding, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, it's not hard to write his script.
Well, true. But yeah. Usually, I don't know. Like most movies you hear about, it's like coming.
Like
they'll announce it, and
2018.
it's like, yeah, you got at
But
least
they've
like
done
a
that
3-year wait,
before.
man.
But see, that's the problem that they had before, and it was funny because when Ryan Reynolds did his, Deadpool and Wolverine's origin, everybody was expecting to see a Deadpool movie within that year or later that year to be announced. And Fox decided to sit up there on April 1st of I think it was 2009. They decided to tease us. And this is not that whole internet thing. No, this is happened in 29. This happened in 2009, where Fox sat there and was like, "Well, we're going to give you guys a Deadpool movie," and people kind of went nuts.
Well, obviously,
like, literally nuts. And then years like 2010 came around, 2011 came around, 2012 came around, and still no Deadpool movie. And then 2013. That footage gets leaked. I told you, people got fired. You decided to play with people's emotions.
Yeah,
you played with people's emotions for 4 years. Like, no, that's not what you do. Bad Fox. Bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that a lot of the comic book studios. That's why I have a lot of loyalty to the Marvel Disney universe thing going, because it's like they give you fans, they give the fans what they want, even if it's not what we
Right.
necessarily expect. We're not really disappointed. Whereas DC constantly disappointed us, Fox constantly disappointed us or confused us, Sony constantly disappointed people or played with people's expectations. It's like, I mean, who the hell would want to go see an Aunt May movie? I mean, come on.
No, wait. Spider-Man 3. This existed, people.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was playing with somebody's
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
Well, you know what would have saved
That
that?
was
You know what would have saved that movie? If they would have given,
A non-emo Peter Parker.
well, besides that, if they would have given us, just a little less Venom, a little more Topher Grace, that would have saved that
right.
movie.
Yeah,
That would have
definitely.
saved that movie.
They
that-
just, it was too much, man. They tried to throw too much in. Like, too many villains, too many, like, God, how many villains did you have in that movie? You had Sandman,
3.
you had Venom, and
New
crap.
New Goblin. New Goblin.
yes.
Well, technically,
Franco.
New Goblin really wasn't the villain because he was, hey, gee golly, old buddy Peter,
Right.
sidekick. But see, here's the problem with 3 that I have. I don't really mind the fact that they fucked Venom up because it is what it is.
I
I
mind
love
about that though.
what's
I
that?
love Venom.
See,
I mind. I love Venom.
I love Venom too, but see, that wasn't the problem that I had. The problem I had with the movie was you spent the first 2 movies setting up Harry to become something bad, something evil, a real genuine threat. And then in the 3rd movie, what's he do? He gets amnesia, which is problem number 1. Anytime you introduce amnesia into a movie, fuck that. Don't do that to me.
No.
Yeah.
And then second, you set him up to be the sidekick role. If I wanted to see Robin, I'd go, watch a Joel Schumacher film. Don't do that.
And I am so sorry, man. James Franco is a great actor.
Yes.
But Amnesia, James Franco was horrible. Every line delivery was just cheeseball as I don't know what, man.
No, the most cheeseball's line was he was in the restaurant and he just looked at that waiter like, good pie. I'm like, dude, what the world?
Yeah, exactly. With that cheeseball smiling. Yeah, exactly, man.
I felt creepy with that pie eating thing. Like, don't eat around.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
But the thing about that movie was, and again, something I think would have saved the movie if they would have had one more dance scene. I mean, you had
they need Peter Parker doing, emo Peter Parker doing one more, Saturday Night Live, or not Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night Fever type dance, man. That would have been awesome.
And one more Chubby Checkers,
Yes, absolutely.
Just oh god.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. What would really have saved that movie is if Peter Parker scared the crap. 1, costume. Right. 2, for me, costume design would have saved that movie. 2nd,
who directed that movie? Before you go on,
it was still Sam Raimi.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I've got a great idea for him next time he decides to make a movie like that. But go ahead, Travis. I'll tell you my thoughts on that.
You don't mess up the original. You don't mess up the symbiote. You messed up the symbiote outfit. That's an icon, okay? That's an iconic outfit. You don't mess it up like you did. You ruined it. It's like you threw nipples on the Batman outfit. You did. You was wrong for that. That's 1. But 2, what could have really saved that movie if Peter Parker scared the crap out of Mary Jane like he did in the comic with his whole symbiotic black suit. If he just did that, it would have been great. I would have been like, all right, that gets a clap. I'm sitting there in the movie like.
See, that was another problem I had with the movie too. Mary Jane. She was really shallow in that movie. Like, she's sitting there the whole time pissed off because Peter's getting recognition because he's Spider-Man. It's like, dude, come on.
She was jealous. She was jealous.
Spider-Man. And then she sits there like, she's like, you didn't come to my reading or whatever. Like, it's just, I don't know, every time she opened her mouth, I just felt like, oh, God, sticking my fingers in my ears because it's just, she was so self-centered in that movie. And it's like, anytime you have a relationship, like, they never actually, they talk about being in love, but they don't actually show them being in love. So when the relationship's in danger, I don't give a shit. And the fact that she's so self-centered, it's like, I don't you don't even care about her. You know, it's like a communication key in any relationship, and she never communicates with Pete or anything. So it's like when she goes and dances with Harry, it's like whatever with that. Like,
Honestly, the movie, I mean, it missed three key things. What they need to do is when they were sitting down in post, you know, after final edits and everything else, when they were reviewing the final film, what they should have done is when it was over, the three key elements they needed was a empty 55-gallon drum, a little bit of gasoline, and a match. They should have took the original, dumped it in that 55-gallon drum, poured a little gas on top of it, and just threw a lit match in there. That would have made that movie so much better.
So we talked about the Spider-Man 3 thing, right? We talked about this. Out of that Raimi series of Spider-Man, which one was your favorite? I know three's not.
One. Yeah,
One?
yeah. Doc Ock
Vance.
wasn't bad, but yeah, the first one for me definitely.
I would have to say probably two, because the villain was pretty. I could empathize with the character, and I don't think he was a bad guy per se, but he was someone that it's like, you know, kind of pushed to his limits. And I felt like the story with Mary Jane felt the most real. I mean, that was honestly the only time their relationship felt like it, you know, actually meant something. Whereas in the first one, he's googly-eyed over her, and in the third one, they're both so off on that relationship, it's not even funny. So I felt like the second one felt like not only a real movie, but it felt like characters that I could actually care about. Whereas the first one,
Right.
although I liked it, the Green Goblin, like,
I know where you're gonna go with that. Before you do, let me throw in my 2 cents on that. All right,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a sucker for origin story because like Batman Begins of the new Batmans, that's my favorite one. Like everybody's like, oh my God, how's that your favorite? It just is. I'm a sucker for origin story, and I know what you're gonna say about Defoe. His acting in there came off on the first couple of times I viewed that movie. It was a little over the top. It really was. But
I mean,
but then
it's
again,
Defoe, though.
that's
Defoe.
my point. That is Defoe, and that is kind of the character of the Green Goblin, man. I mean, he is this kind of schizophrenic, dual personality.
He's
you know,
a diva.
fighting the inner battle between good and evil, and I don't know. I kind of like his over the top performance because I think the Goblin kind of is over the top. You know, so yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that's what you were going to say about Defoe's Goblin.
Well, he certainly had more of a presence as Norman Osborn than the new Norman Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Right.
That guy had no presence at all. Not a bad actor, but just
No.
he wasn't Norman Osborn. So.
I don't think it was the actor. I think it was the material. But
Think so?
yeah, personally. But yeah.
But I think the thing with the thing about the first Spider-Man, you know, although I don't mind an origin story, sometimes they kind of get repetitive. But it ended on kind of a down note. Like it wasn't as happy as a Spider-Man film should have been, I feel. And the second one, you know, it ends on a happy note, you know, and it gives you, you know, it makes you leave going, man, I could be Spider-Man too. I'm going to go save people. And then you get beat up by, you know,
Yeah.
spandex. But, you know, it ended on a happy note. And that was kind of my problem with the third one also, was it ended on a down note. Like, you didn't know if they were together. You didn't know anything. Like, it fell apart, you know. So I felt like, you know, overall movie-wise, I feel like the second one just kind of, you know, it was more my taste than the first one, you know. Although, you know, the hamming it up, like you guys said, it's William Dafoe. You know what you're getting with that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I think another one of my biggest things about any kind of storyline like that, especially when they're, like with all superheroes, when a secret identity is involved, I hate it when people are oblivious. Like the Dark Knight movies, and well, it's any superhero movie. I wish they could cover it up a little better because, I mean, I know you have to, like, just let reality go a little bit, but how do these people not know these things, man? How do they know Clark Kent is not Superman? I mean, how have they not?
That's why I like.
How have they not figured out? I mean, and even in the third one, in the third Batman, the Dark Knight Rises, somebody should have put 2 and 2 together and said, "Gee, you know what I just realized? Batman and Bruce Wayne died on the exact same day." You know, that should have been a dead giveaway.
Well, with the Dark Knight Rises, the ending scene is Bruce Wayne is in France.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
with Selena,
yeah,
Selena Kyle,
and
and Alfred.
that
Yeah,
and they have this little. It's like the autopilot got fixed,
yeah, yeah.
so he wasn't
I
really
remember
he
well.
wasn't even there, you know. But what was really funny, the reason why I like Dark Knight is because there's a scene where the guy comes in, he's like, "There's a problem with your books," and he's having a conversation with Morgan Freeman, and he's like, "Well, you didn't think that I wouldn't see this, you know, this is your baby out there on the news," and he's like, "You really want to go to war with the guy that is one of the most richest men in America,
Yeah, yeah, that yeah,
and then on his spare time punches criminals in the face for a hobby?"
yeah, yeah. Because he was gonna expose him. I love that part. Yep,
I was like, "Dude, perfect."
yep.
I don't I don't
I
give a.
love that
You
part.
got to think about it. It's like, wait a minute. All right, I can know your secret identity, but at the same time, you have superpowers and you might kill me.
You
Well,
know,
not
You break.
superpowers, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah, he doesn't
yeah,
have
amazing
superpowers, but
tech. But yeah,
yeah,
you,
yeah.
great tech.
you know what really bothered me about the Dark Knight Returns, or the Dark Knight Rises?
Mm.
Like, all it would have taken for there's two things. One, so many of his bad guys know his secret identity that it's ridiculous. But if you really want to take down the Batman, here's what you do: just write a note to a newspaper, send it to him, or make an anonymous phone call and say, "Hey, guess what? Bruce Wayne is Batman," and then that's all you got to do, and then let them do your dirty work for you. You don't even
Right.
do whatever
Right.
but nobody does that. Everyone's just like, "Oh, I know your secret," ha ha ha, but it's safe with me. What are you talking about? You want to destroy this man. So to me, that makes no logical sense. But the thing, that I left that movie kind of laughing, and everyone was kind of asking why, because they were like, "Oh, that was really touching, and the scenery, it was so sweet." And I was like, "Well, how long were they sitting at that cafe for?"
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly.
You're
This is
dating.
like, man, that's
You
just.
know, Selena Kyle was just like, "Come on, God, just let
Can
me
we
go
go?
shopping." And Bruce
Dude,
is
Can we
I
like,
know
go
"No,
now?
no, I know Alfred. He'll be here any minute. Just wait."
we come here, it's like from Selena's perspective, we come here every day, Bruce. I thought one of the richest men in the world would be awesome, but I know this menu by heart. Can we at least go to an Olive Garden or something? Like,
Or even if he knew somehow when Alfred was taking the vacation, what if his plane had been late? You know,
I
right?
know, right?
plane was delayed. God
But see,
damn, come on, Alfred.
with as
You
much,
deal with real problems.
with as,
His cab got lost somewhere. Like, you couldn't catch a cab in France. Who catches a cab in France?
with as much as, but with as much as Bruce jerked Alfred around, how do you even know the guy's going to go on vacation? The guy's probably got post-traumatic stress syndrome now.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna lie. I like the subtleties of the Dark Knight franchise. I love the subtleties of it. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah, and it was they did very well with the films. They did. But one thing, how in the world did Bane find? Because he knew the perfect spot to go to like get all of Bruce's tech. Like nobody else in the world knew about it. Somehow Bane did. They never addressed how they knew where it was at. Uh, but he could find that so easily. But Bruce was literally gone for months at a time, and not one maintenance guy went to the top of that roof and found his freaking Batwing on top of the roof just hidden out there. Not one maintenance guy in months. Not one helicopter flew over and said, "What the hell is that under that tarp?" You
They
know?
got Rumbus. They have Rumbus to clean the Wayne Enterprise. You
No
know,
kidding, man. No
they got
kidding.
Rumbus up there.
But still, you would think one helicopter, especially a city. You know, they had satellite imagery, the government did, after that big of a
Yeah.
thing when the city's on lockdown. Nobody said, "Hey guys, what's that on top of that building?"
And it's powered by a nuclear generator. Like, come on now.
Exactly.
To heck with that.
Exactly.
That's overthinking it. You're a window washer on like a building right next to the Wayne building. You just happen to look over. Hey,
Hey, what's that?
But you know that irritated me. You know that's what the reason really irritated me with the original Batman shows with Adam West. You gotta expect sometime that a maid's gonna come in there and clean your apartment up. Like and you have all
But-
these different places to go into the Bat Tunnel.
Oh yeah,
Like-
yes. But you have to take the original TV show with Adam West. You definitely have to take that with a grain of salt, because
I
that
do
was
take it with a grain of
definitely
salt, but I'm
that was
just
definitely
saying.
comical. And anytime when you whack a bad guy and you get a colorful text pop up that says "Pow, Blam, Sploosh," you know, you can't take it but so serious.
See, that's what was missing during the Batman and Bane fight. You know, just
Yeah.
he lifts him up to break his back, and all of a sudden, bam!
I wanted to see a crack. I wanted to see a
Crack.
big old crack like just come up. Like as soon as it happened, I'm like, can I get the crack? No crack. Why can't I get the crack? Give me the crack.
That would have taken you out of the movie, but that would have been so worth it to me. You know?
It would have.
would've.
It really would have.
I don't care how much out of the movie I could have actually got with The Dark Knight Rises, because as soon as I hear Bane's voice, I apply it to everyday life, because that guy's a serious man, and his voice is so very not serious.
How did y'all feel about Bane kind of getting underplayed by Talia?
First, I was pissed off by that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When you read Bane in the comics, the guy is not only physically imposing, he's also mentally imposing.
Yeah,
he's
he's
a mental
genius,
he's a
man.
mental giant.
He's
like
an absolute genius. But-
And so he's like equal to Batman in almost every way possible. So when you rewind the clock back to the movie Batman and Robin,
right.
and I was pissed off because Bane's playing second fiddle to Poison Ivy.
Poison
I
Ivy.
don't buy that. It's stupid. He's wearing a trench coat with the Bane mask. Oh yeah, that's real conspicuous. It's just the whole thing was shameful. So when I'm watching this movie, you get about 3/4 into it, and it's revealed that he's playing second fiddle to yet another woman. And I'm not being sexist. I'm all for it if it applies. However, you should have let Bane be the main bad guy in this movie, the main mental power. It's just I would have loved that movie more. And so it was like the second thing all over again.
Yeah, I wouldn't have mind Talia of being, and I guess they wanted to make the whole. God, well, if you follow the storyline, she did save him, or he did save her from the pit and whatnot. But I wish they'd have thought of a different way to write that, where Bane still could have been the main villain, and Talia would have kind of been like his spy, his informant. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm gonna say this now. In the comic book world, Talia and Bane never got along. So
right. And a lot of people don't know that they actually that Bane was actually part of like the League of Assassins.
Right.
In what was it? Contagion, I think, was the storyline.
Yep.
It was around when No Man's Land was around. Yeah. So it's like I don't have him. I don't have a problem with him being affiliated with that group, but.
No.
Maybe equal partners, or she's got one part of the plan, he's doing this part, like that I wouldn't have had a problem with. But it seemed like as soon as they mentioned, oh yeah, he's working for me, he just turns into I've got no lines now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm punk made now.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then for someone who's so loyal to the League of Assassins, as soon as she leaves, Bane's like, oh, okay, now I'm the one in charge, I'm gonna stop you. It really reminds me of you guys ever seen that Saturday Night Live skit, Shy Rodney or something like that?
I might have. I've watched a lot of Saturday Night Live, but
it's got Adam, whatever his name is.
Sandler?
No, Adam.
Sessler.
He plays on some 911 show.
Reno 911.
Adam Sandberg, I think his name
Sandberg.
is.
Yeah.
It's a skit with him, and it's a skit with Rihanna. Well, she's singing the whole time. They're like robbing a bank or whatever, and he's all shy and he sings it, and it's kind of funny because he doesn't say much and he's kind of mumbling. As soon as she leaves, then he gets all hardcore gangster. She comes back in, he gets all shy, and that's how Bane reminded that's what reminded me of Bane, because I'm like, dude, you lost your balls when she comes around, and then you get them back when she leaves. It's just
yeah.
I think it was handled poorly.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think, honestly, they really should have touched in on the whole Catwoman. Like, the whole thing with Catwoman in the beginning was great. Like, broke into his house, he goes to a banquet, finds her. That whole setup was great. And then you just like that. how did Talia even come a part of this? The Bane. I'm sitting here like, wait, hold up. You just went from Catwoman to Talia. How Bruce Wayne has never gotten this much in any type of Christopher Nolan movie ever.
Right.
What is going on here?
Well, see, here's the thing. You had the whole plan was so damn convoluted that it's like, you know what? Why don't you go, take $100, go to one of these third world countries, get a make bomb, and then your whole business is done. But instead, they wait 8 years and they have handprint scanning and then they got to infiltrate this and it's just like by the time you're done, your mind is so emotionally drained from this backwards plan. And to me, I'm like, okay, you want to take out the Dark Knight. Well, here's the way to do it. Wait till you're sleeping with the guy, cut his wiener off.
Yeah, exactly. Make it exactly. Yeah.
Slice his throat. Like,
I'm with you.
The one flaw that you had, and you knew who it was.
Yeah.
You don't do anything about it while you're
exactly.
while you're laying down on that mink rug, waiting to get rammed.
Well, I'm trying. Hold on. I'm trying to remember. Was she aware that Bruce Wayne was Batman at the time? Okay,
yeah, she knew the whole time.
Remember? Okay.
She knew the whole time because Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins.
Yep, that's right. He trained.
Even Raz's plan wasn't that complicated. He just wanted to nuke. He just wanted to take out freaking Wayne Enterprises. That's
right.
It. His plan wasn't that convoluted. Talia's plan,
dude.
30 years. Like, come on now.
I don't understand that. Like, me having sex with you is actually revenge for my father. Like,
That's some revenge, huh?
No. Hey, do you remember the Batman Beyond where Ra's al Ghul takes over Talia's body and he puts Bruce back into the Lazarus pit and they're coming back and he's like, hey man, at least you didn't kiss her. Like, Bruce Wayne kissed Ra's al Ghul. Like, that right there. I was like, yo, this is great. Batman Beyond. Oh, yeah. By the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Terry McGinnis died. I'm sorry, I keep coming up with this bad news from comics. Terry McGinnis dies.
In DC, right?
Yeah, in the DC comic book.
Future's End, right?
Yeah, it's Future's End. And basically, Batman tries to go back in time to correct this folly. So technically, he's not dead yet, but still, my heart goes out. I like Terry McGinnis,
All right.
See, I think that's my biggest. I think that's my biggest problem with comics. They have so many variations. Like, I love the Batman Beyond universe. I love the animated series universe. Like, I love the different incarnations, like Batman Brave and Bold cartoon. That's awesome because it's funny and a different take. You got the movies, you got the shows. Like, I love all the different interpretations. And it's like whenever I pick up a comic book, now it's so hard to be like, okay, what's in continuity, what's not, which Supergirl is this, because there's been like 50 Supergirls. Is Superboy a clone or is he an experiment? Is he, it's just nothing straight. Did Bane break Batman's back? Did he not? Did they kill Superman? Did they not? Because we read one comic and then another comic cancels it, and it's like, I really kind of missed from like the 80s and 90s kind of the self-contained stories where you could just comic book and enjoy it, put it down, you're like, man, I can hardly wait to see what happens next month. When they have so many crossovers, it's just everything gets so confusing, and then they have reboot after reboot after reboot. And it makes it so frustrating because it's like, I want to be a fan, I can't find a jumping on point, because I was reading, like, I tried to read 52, tried to jump on board, I couldn't. Well, then I saw that they had like a Secret Origins issue. I think it was Batman #0 that told like all the different origins of the different Robins. I read Tim Drake's origin, and it was nothing more than a knockoff of Dick Grayson's. I'm like, this isn't even the same character. It's not the same origin. Like, it makes it hard for me to get back into something that I'm passionate about, And so that's like it's just there's so much out there to love, and I as a fan I want to, and I wish they would give me something to cling to,
Right.
Yeah. because as soon as you start, like, I loved the Red Hood. The Red Hood had his own squad, comprised of Starfire, Red Arrow, him, and oh my God, Arsenal.
Right.
And when when that ended, I kind of, a part of me was like, "Dang, this was great."
Hmm.
Even though there's parts in that comic that's not totally, good for kids to be reading. Like
Hmm.
kids should not read that comic. But the Red Hood storyline grew, and I loved it. I was like, "Yo, this is awesome." Now, if you went back and you already know Red Hood's all of his trials and tribulations as Jason Todd and everything else like that, and I'm sitting here like, so how about that Tim Drake though?
Right.
I'm still like, how about that Tim Drake though? Like Jason Todd, yes, he's that forgotten son, but Tim Drake is that really forgotten son.
Yeah.
He's that thrown away, cast away type situation, and it's because of Batman's most feared villain, the Joker, is why he's like that. It's like, all right, well, this happened and this happened. Nobody really liked Jason Todd. As a matter of fact, they killed Jason Todd.
Hmm.
They gave the audience a choice back in the day, and it was like, kill Jason Todd. They did. And they brought him back as the Red Hood. Like, Tim Drake didn't have a choice. He suffered. He died. Like, that was it. And then when they reprise his roles in Batman Beyond, they reprise his roles in the comics, it's always as this forgotten son that Batman did not care about. And that's not the case. Like, Batman tried to help Tim Drake as much as he possibly could.
The thing with the thing I find most shameful about how the treatment of Tim Drake, that character is the one that got me into comics. I saw that character and I remember the issue. In fact, I went out on eBay and bought 2 copies of it just so I could have one that would not be open, just be completely
Right.
closed. Pass that down to my kid because that's what got me into comics. But it was a story where Batman and Robin at the beginning of the comic, they're chasing these gang members, and the car flips, and the gang members go into this like carnival type place. And so Batman and Robin going after him. Well, Batman tells Tim Drake, he's only been Robin for just a little bit, so he's still kind of new at it, but he tells Robin, hey, scope out up there, on that ledge and kind of check the grounds while I search on the grounds. And he was like, all right. So he goes up there on the ledge, and he sees in the distance there's this dude with a sniper rifle. Well, he goes over, and talks the guy down, from not, from making a mistake like that. And at the end of the comic book, Tim Drake, Batman's of course found the other gang members, but Tim Drake and this dude, Tim's like, hey, Batman, I'm going to take this guy home and make sure he gets the help that he needs. And at the end of the comic, like Batman in a thought bubble, he says, man, I really picked right when I chose him. And so that always stuck with me, because I was like, even without the mask, Tim Drake's a hero. And I loved that. Well,
Yeah.
reading, going through, he got his own comic series and everything, and grew up, and actually, I would have thought he would have made a really good Batman, after the 1 year later storyline or the Batman R.I.P. storyline. I thought he would have made a better Batman than Bruce, or not Bruce, than Dick Grayson, because
Yeah.
even Bruce said Tim's really smart. He's probably the second best detective outside myself, So, I really loved that character. I loved the growth. I felt like he kind of grew up as I grew up, and then go to the New 52, and this guy is nothing like what I grew up with,
Right.
And I've tried to read it, and it's just, and like I said, when I saw the origins, where the Dick Grayson origin knockoff, I was just like, it's so disrespectful how DC has treated certain characters, And I'm all for reboots when it applies, but I just, such a shame.
Right.
Yeah. Because Jason Todd is now like, when they made Under the Red Hood, and many people didn't know where that came from, and that whole thing happened a long time ago, where they got the choice of killing off, they got the choice of killing off Jason Todd. They killed Jason Todd. Jason Todd was the punk. He was the rogue. He was the roguest Robin ever.
Right.
Like, that was him. You know, that was his key factor. He took the wheels off the Batmobile. Dick didn't do that. Tim Drake didn't do that. Jason Todd took the wheels off the Batmobile in under 10 seconds. Like, he got them things off in 10 minutes. 5 minutes. I think it was in the original. In the original, it was 5 minutes. In the movie, I think it's like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Jason Todd. That's how he was. And then the whole situation with him and the Joker, it seemed so Tim Drake-ish. It seemed so very Tim Drake-ish. Like, he didn't beat him to the point where he tried to turn. The Joker tried to turn Tim Drake into a Joker. Whereas Jason Todd just got brutally beaten, savagely harassed by the Joker, and then blew up. Because Batman didn't get there in time.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back all mad and hurt because, you know, Joker's still alive. But Batman has actually beaten the Joker to the point where he was in the hospital for 2.5 years. Like, the Joker off the street for 2.5 years, Batman can do a lot of good.
Did Joker try to turn Tim Drake in the comics?
Yeah.
The only time I remember him doing that was in the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, but that was a cartoon version. Did they try to do that in the comic books too, or?
They also tried to do it like, what was it was Tim Drake in the animated series, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Drake. They had Tim Drake get captured in the animated series. Batman loses Tim Drake. Joker captures him. They had the whole scene that didn't come on TV until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Remember that? Like, that was Tim Drake getting turned into the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Joker, the animated, you know, and the Batman Beyond thing, they reprised that. But in the comic book, the true mask of Joker, Tim Drake, face cut off, Joker mask put on. Like, it was intense. It is seriously intense. It is probably one of the most intense storylines for Batman. Like, you know, because Joker's running wild. He's gone gung-ho with everything now. He's got Batman like shivering in the freaking well. Like, he's literally gone off the reservation with everything. He doesn't care anymore. So it's like our back and forth doesn't matter. Even though it's like when you look at this Joker now, it's a whole different it's a whole different psychopath. It's entirely different. He's more ruthless, it's more aggressive, more violent, a lot more gory. It's just it's done. But with that being said, gotta wrap it up here.
Gotcha. Gotcha, man.
All right.
So let me jump in. You guys did a great show, but I'd like to tell everybody what's coming up next week.
All right, go for it.
Next week, Friday, on the 10th, I believe it is Fight Night Games. And Mr. BY will be having at least a 60-second rampage.
Yes, you're introducing Mr. B's rant.
Okay. I'll try not to rant.
What grinds my gears?
What grinds my gears? All right, I'll give it some thought. And are y'all going to give me a topic to think about, or
Fight Night Games?
No,
Any games that has to do with fighting.
Oh, I'm good. I've already got something in mind. No spoilers.
And then on the 16th, we're going to be doing Star Trek, the first season.
Cool.
On the 17th, we will be hearing more from Mr. B with Borderland 2.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
let's keep it with the whole franchise. That'd be a lot more to talk about.
Borderlands.
Okay.
Yeah, Borderlands in general.
Borderlands, everything. And then also, Travis will be telling us a little bit about Rainbow Six and other new games coming out. And then May 2nd, we will be doing more Star Trek with the second season.
Nice.
And I would have talked a little bit on the show, but I haven't kept up with Marvel, DC, comics, shows, movies, anything. So I was like the third wheel just sitting here listening.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. No
All right,
worries.
we're gonna have a topic to talk about next Sunday, though.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up then. Lady,
Everybody
you
want to
got
say
anything
goodnight?
else? I will. I will. Appreciate it, guys. Had a blast, and yeah, I got to get ready for my rant next week.
There is one thing,
Hey,
Vance. Do you have a YouTube channel, a page, a group, whatever that you want to give a shout out?
My group on the promenade. Anyone's welcome to come and join. We talk about geek stuff all the time, and honestly, that's what I use a lot of the time to keep up on current events. So, and then I got a YouTube channel of my own. Actually, what I'm going to be doing on my YouTube is Mondays I'll be doing Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes. Tuesday I'll be doing Gotham episodes. Wednesday I'll be doing Flash episodes. Thursday I'll be doing Arrow episodes. And then on Friday I'll be doing Doctor Who episodes. So hopefully I'll be having one episode every day for like the next 4 or 5 weeks. You know, I have that stuff done. So anyone's welcome to come watch it, man.
Cool, cool.
yeah, man, most definitely.
And check out these pages because they allow me to post my the shows on them all the time. It's Intergalactic Geek Alliance, Geek Club, Avengers Mansion by Intergalactic Geek Alliance, The Bat Cave by Intergalactic Geek Alliance, Ladies Venom's Lair, and of course, our pages, Gamers Geek dot. No, Facebook took out the dot. Gamers Geek TV, Gamers Geek Radio. Check out the YouTube, our website, and we also have older shows on blogtalkradio.com. And check out the groups. What is it? Chicks Who Game Are Sexier, and 360 Bars Players group.
Cool, cool.
And if you have any ideas, any suggestions, please send them to me, the page, and one of us will get back to you. If you know if a new game out, you wanted to hear about it, you want the developers on, let us know. We are here for you and to make our followers happy. Travis?
Well, this has been Gamers Geeks. This has been the GGR Roundtable, and we've talked about all different types of Marvel and DC goodness. But once again, man, Deadpool, chimichangas for life, all day. I think that's like the best news. It's like the best news since French, since white bread. I don't care what you say. I don't care. I love Deadpool. I have like 4 Deadpool shirts. I'm about to get another one just so I can wear it next week. Yeah, for Fight Night because SOCOM. Yeah, I want to talk about that one. But not SOCOM. What is it? Man, Marvel vs. Capcom. There you go.
Brain
Nice.
fart.
Yeah, that was bad. That was horrible. But yeah, I've been Travis, man, and I'm out.
And
We'll see y'all.
this is Lady Rage signing off.